of the 2-0 win yesterday against Manchester City. And honestly, I can't think of a game where I've celebrated that much since we last won the league, being honest. I know we had Paris last year, and I know we've had a few FA Cups, Europa League sprinkled in there. But honestly, and of course I leave the audio on my laptop. But honestly, a game like that yesterday, just the elation. If you want to go back and see the watch along as well, myself and Joe were on the first time we've ever actually watched a game on the watch along, and those who have seen many of our watch alongs know we never really shown that much of an interest in the game. But let's having a look at starting off. Ollie, obviously in the post match presser, full of elation after the first time we've done a double over Manchester City. Excuse me. Since Sir Alex has left the club as well. And if you look at the run of play during the game too, United were really the better side. I think they had something like 1.73 XG. City were like 0.51. So all that possession meant for nothing. But all he had to say, I don't know when he was asked if there had ever been a better atmosphere at Old Trafford during his time at the club, player or manager. I don't know if there was one for my playing days. I was probably more used to it then. The connection between the fans and the teammates means a lot to me. I think they know that, and I want our fans to know what these players want to do and what they're about. They're about hard work and desire. I see them every day, and they give absolutely everything. There are not many egos here in that team. He also praising the fans and giving a shout out to Sir Alex as well, saying the fans say, what an atmosphere at the end. Seeing everyone in the stands, you turn around and you see Sir Alex up there. He is proud, and it's a big moment for every one of us. Has anyone figured out what, in the office, I'm asking, what this was about? Anyone? No, this? Was it his family, was it?
Supposedly a family of
Fergie. Well, we'll run with Fergie because I think that sounds a bit more poetic, doesn't it? But again, go back and watch the watch along. I think myself and Joe's reaction spoke volumes about just how much that win really meant. 10 games now, 7 wins, 3 draws, 2 goals conceded. Second most clean sheets out of any team in Europe's top 5 leagues. And he's still a PE teacher, apparently, according to some. But look, people are entitled to their opinion. I think when you consider, I'm not going to make this a whole Ollie in or Ollie out. Let's just enjoy the victory for what it was. But when you consider everything that he's had to work with, and let's face it, he's been without his 2 best players in Pogba and Rashford. Maybe not for all the season, but definitely, obviously, Pogba for most of the season and Rashford for what has been the past month, and is out for what we presume for the rest of the season. And we're still in that hunt for top 4, to be honest, which, if you think about it with the squad we have, we probably should have no right to as well. Right, moving on as well. We've got some interesting news, you'd have to say, as far as tying people down to new contracts. Obviously, the club aren't particularly well known for their ability to keep players down to new contracts. Cough, cough, Ander Herrera. Cough, cough. But whether you think this is a blessing or a curse, it looks like Chong is set for a stay at Old Trafford, which comes as a massive surprise. Maybe, I don't know to you lot, but to me, definitely, it seemed all but a certainty he was going to join. Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku, Ashley Young, Victor Moses, Christian Eriksen. Trying to think of any other Premier League rejects. But he was looking to join that crop of absolute anonymity in joining Inter Milan. His agent was even out there. His agent has spoken publicly to the media, but it looks like he's about to sign a new £30,000 a week deal. This is multiple reports. I think the Sun I saw reporting it earlier today, but it seems to have been picked up by a lot of the dirt sheets today. It says here, though his agents have fielded plenty of interest, notably, as I said, from Italian side Inter Milan, he is due to agree terms on a new United contract understood to be worth an initial 30 grand a week. Now, whether this is... I just don't see where he fits in the pecking order of the club, to be honest. You've got... Let's take a look at the wingers who are ahead of him in the pecking order. You've got Marcus Rashford, Daniel James, Mason Greenwood. Am I missing anyone? Yeah, he's probably fourth choice. Bruno can play left or right as well, as can Pereira or Mata. So you're thinking he's 4th or 5th choice, and that we're paying him 30 grand a week. Obviously, all things considered, it's not a lot of money, especially what we've been known to put certain players on wage-wise. Um, but again, he's been linked with teams like Inter Milan and obviously, as I said, but Barcelona and Juventus. Now, I don't know. I don't want to knock a young player because I think there's too much of that going along in today's game. But I haven't really been impressed with anything I've seen from Chong. We've seen kind of sparks in his ability to draw fouls, most notably on the preseason tour. If anyone was watching that, and he's shown kind of sparks, but a serious lack of end product and it is unfortunately what he's shown in the first team. Little glimpses, but apparently he's impressed the club enough for this new 30,000 a week deal. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. Chong, is he worth the money? Is he worth the investment? He was the best player under Ricky Sprague's 23 side last season, which, all in truth, wasn't a great side. Was it Ricky Sprague? Was it 20? He was the best player in the 23s last season.
He won Player of the Year. There's a difference.
What? He won the reserve team Player of the Year.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have.
He won. He scored like 8 goals, didn't he, in the entire season, or at least in the Premier League 2, I think it was. For one of the sides, he was basically he was the top scorer, and he wasn't top scorer. No, he scored about 8 goals last season. I thought at least for either the 23s or the 21s, he was top scorer. I could be wrong though. Anyway, but whatever way you look at it, is he worth the money? Is he worth the investment? Is he, maybe not up to standard? Is he surplus to requirements? Let me know in the comments as well. Right, final story we're going to run with today. An interesting one, to be honest, because we don't often hear players come out and admit there was offers on the table when they've just signed from other clubs when they've just signed for a new one. But Emre Can, obviously, formerly of Liverpool, Bayer Leverkusen, and most recently Juventus, has just completed a loan move to Dortmund that I believe has been made permanent. But he's come out and said that he had turned down an offer from Manchester United in January, which is pretty interesting. He said to German outlet Kicker, he confirmed Manchester United's interest, but explained why he did not move to Old Trafford. He said, I had 3 Premier League deals alone, including one from Manchester United. I'd be interested to hear who the other 2 are from. But I didn't think about it for a second because of his Liverpool past. So obviously stuff like this may have been forgotten in the modern day, but obviously Emre Can feels very loyal to his Liverpool roots. I don't think there's been a move directly between Liverpool and Manchester United, a player, since 1964, I was reading this morning. Insane, that statistic. Obviously there have been players who have, crossed barriers one way or another. Paul Ince, the first that springs to mind. I think Peter Beardsley as well. I think he only had a few minutes under his belt for United, but obviously went on to be a Liverpool and Liverpool stalwart, as long as a Newcastle stalwart as well. But that's an interesting move, to be honest. Emre Can United. It's weird because if we bring in Emre Can, we're probably not bringing in Bruno as well. Someone made a point to me as well. If the likes of Pogba and McTominay weren't injured, and we weren't as depleted in centre mid as we are, or at least we were, would we have gone for Bruno in the market? Obviously, Bruno seems to be obviously has been the right decision so far. I've been vilified a bit in the comments for saying that I had my reservations about Bruno, that I was wary of a guy who had 2 seasons at top level in Italy and it not really set the world alight, and 25 playing your football in Portugal. They were all things I took into consideration, but Bruno Fernandes, I don't even need to preach his name anymore. You only have to see him yesterday. Even when he maybe doesn't have as much of a direct impact on the game throughout as maybe he did yesterday, obviously getting that fantastic assist. But you can just see the way the fans are warming to him, the way he directs traffic about the pitch. And a lot of people saying that little friendship he seemed to have sparked up with Anthony Martial because, they were smiling at each other on the bench, and that's what the media like to run with as well. But let me know, guys, as well. Emre Can, is he, what United need? Is he the caliber of player we should be profiling? Personally, I think he's a good player, Emre Can, but that we were questioning Odion Agalo's signing as well when he joined the club. But he was amazing yesterday as well. 3 goals and 2 starts for him. But Emre Can, for me, good player, but I don't know. I'm not fully convinced by that kind of player that we're profiling as well. Right, let me know in the comments what you guys are saying as well. I think the audio's been a bit off, but producer Cam is on hand to help us out with that one. I think everything's good now. PNA 78 saying, is it me? But has Ollie changed the whole mentality of not just the players but the board? I think things are starting to improve massively with Ollie. Maybe not with the board, it's hard to say. Only time will tell whether he's backed or not. But as far as the team, you can see the players love playing for him as well. A couple of people praising Bruno as well. But we're going to wrap it up there, guys, today as well. We will be going live, I think, for a House and Brew this afternoon. We are going to be live, I think, for House and Brew this afternoon. So make sure to join us for that. And we will be doing, of course, watch-alongs and news throughout the week as well. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Cheers.